All right, I want to tell you something that nobody tells you before starting a party rental business. You think you're going to show up, drop off the bounce house, and go home. Well, that's what I thought too. And then I found myself standing in a pool party, running 3 food machines simultaneously, popcorn, snow cone, and cotton candy, with one other person. A line of kids wrapping around the pool, cotton candy flying everywhere because I was still figuring out how to make it. And that was not in the brochure. Today, I'm giving you 5 things I genuinely wish someone would have told me before I started this business. The stuff you only learn by actually doing it. And if you're thinking about starting a party rental business, or you're already in it and nodding your head right now, this one's for you. This is Travis Roberts Unfiltered. Let's get into it. I'm Travis Roberts, by the way. I started this party rental business this year, and the very first thing that almost ended it before it even started was not having the proper booking system in place. Here's what happened. I was running everything through Facebook Messenger. Someone would reach out and ask about a bounce house for a specific date, would go back and forth on Messenger, and I just kind of assumed everything was confirmed. No contract, no written confirmation, just vibes. And then one day, the bounce house loaded on the trailer, drove down the street where the party was supposed to be, and never got to set it up. Because the customer assumed since I never sent her the paperwork, the booking wasn't confirmed, and she moved on. So literally a block or two from my house in a small town of 5,000 people, I almost tanked my reputation before I even got started because I didn't have a system. So here's what I use now. There are apps built specifically for party rental businesses that handle all of this for you. Jobber and Inflatable Office are 2 of the most popular ones, and both have free trials, so you can test them out before you spend a dime. You do not need to be a tech expert to set these up. They're built for regular people running rental businesses just like this one. Whether you use a dedicated app or a well-organized spreadsheet to start, you need to have one in place where every booking lives. Every customer, every date, every piece of equipment, every deposit, every contract, all in one place. And every single booking needs a written confirmation at the moment it was made, which leads me directly into number 2. Send a contract. Collect a deposit every single time, no exceptions. I know when you're just starting out, it feels overly formal. You're a small operation, you want to be friendly and easy to work with, and pulling out a contract feels like a lot. I get it. I felt the same way. But here's the thing. A contract protects you and the customer. It sets expectations on both sides. It says, here's what we are renting, here's the date, here's the price, here's what happens if there's a cancellation. No confusion, no assumptions, no showing up to a party that isn't expecting you. And deposits, collect them up front, always. A deposit tells you the customer is serious. It protects you if they cancel the last minute. It means you're not showing up with a trailer full of equipment for someone who decided they didn't want it anymore without telling you. We actually just had someone book a bounce house a full year in advance. A whole year out. I'm telling you right now, there's no way I'm holding on to that date without a deposit in hand. A year is a long time. People's plans change. You need something that says, this date is real and a customer is committed. Get the contract signed, get the deposit collected before you put anything on the trailer. Number 3, this one surprised me more than anything else when I was first getting started. I thought party rentals were just a drop off and go model. You show up, you set it up, you leave. Come back later and pick it up. For a lot of it, bounce houses, yard games, tables, chairs, that's exactly right. Drop it off and you're done until pickup. But some equipment requires an attendant on site, and that changes everything about how you price it and how you plan your day. We went to a school event and ran our 360 photo booth for about 3 hours straight. 3 hours on site, operating the equipment, helping people use it, making sure everything ran smoothly. That's not just a drop and go, that's a job, and you need to charge accordingly. We call it an attendant fee, and it gets added on top of the rental price whenever we have to be there to operate something. And then there was the pool party. Oh man, the pool party. We had a pool party booking for a popcorn, snow cone, and cotton candy machines all at the same time. 2 of us there to run all 3. And let me tell you, a line of excited kids who want snow cones and cotton candy and popcorn all at once is a completely different level of chaos than just dropping off a bounce house. I was still learning how to make cotton candy at the time, and if you've never made cotton candy, it looks easy. It's not easy. The sugar has to be at the right temperature. You have to spin it just right. And when you're doing it all for like the first time in front of a line of impatient kids at a pool party, the pressure is real. We basically had to make the popcorn machine self-service so we could just keep up with everything else. Though it all worked out though. The people had a great time, but the lesson was clear. When you're running attended equipment, especially multiple machines at once, you need enough people and you need to know exactly how to operate the equipment before you're doing it in front of the customers. Practice at home first. Know your equipment cold before it goes out to an event. When I first started stocking up equipment, I bought a lot of stuff. Yard games, tables and chairs, blow-up movie screen, foam cannons, different inflatables. I wanted to have options for every kind of party. And here's what I've learned so far. The bounce houses and the food machines are by far the most popular rentals. Everything else rents here and there, but those two categories are consistently what people want. Now, that doesn't mean the other stuff wasn't a bad investment. Yard games and tables and chairs add value to a package, and the foam cannon and movie screen are unique enough that they get attention. But if I was starting over from zero with a limited budget, I'd build out my bounce house inventory and my food machine inventory first and add the rest as I grew. Now, here's the secret to making your rental equipment pay for itself twice as fast. And this is something I stumbled onto that I wish somebody would have told me from day one. Your equipment can generate income even when it's not out on a rental. We set up our cotton candy machine at an established local businesses on days when it's not booked, and it brings in money that would otherwise be sitting in the garage. And we're also planning on running our food machines at local fairs and small town yearly events this summer. Your equipment is an asset. Assets should be working as much as possible. The rental model is your foundation, but don't stop there. Find every way to put that equipment to work and watch how fast it pays for itself. Quick, if this is saving you from my mistakes, hit subscribe. 5. And the last thing I wish I had known, people will surprise you in the best possible way. We just had someone book a bounce house for a party that's a full year from now. A year. They found us, they liked what they saw, and they locked in the date for 12 months in advance. That kind of thing reminds you what you're building is real. That people trust you with their events, their kids, their birthdays, and their family gatherings. That's not nothing. That means something. And the flip side of that is people are always watching how you handle things when they go wrong. The booking mistake I mentioned earlier, I was terrified that the customer was going to post about us and tank our reputation before we even got off the ground. She didn't. And we came out of it with better systems and a better business. People give you more grace than you think when you're honest and you own your own mistakes. But you still have to show up. You still have to be professional. You still have to do the work even when it's chaotic. And you're making cotton candy for the first time and the line is getting longer and longer and you only got 2 people running 3 machines. You show up, you figure it out, and you get better every single time. So let me give you the quick rundown one more time. Number 1, get real booking system before you get your first customer. Tools like Jobber and Inflatable Office make it easy and you don't need to be a tech person to use them. Number 2, contracts and deposits every single time, no exceptions. Number 3, know which rentals are drop and go and which ones you need on site and price accordingly. And number 4, stock up the high demand items first and put your equipment to work every single day, not just on a rental. And number 5, people will surprise you. The good ones book you a year in advance. Learn from the hard ones and keep going. If you're thinking about starting a party rental business, do it. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes you're spinning cotton candy in 90-degree heat at a pool party while lines of kids stare at you, but it's yours, and that feeling doesn't go away. I've had kids come up to me days later, weeks later, and hey, I remember you at the pool. Yep, that was us. Hey, drop a comment and tell me, are you thinking about starting a party rental business or are you already in it? I want to know where you're at. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button. I'm sharing everything about this journey, the wins, the losses, and the chaos in between. This is Travis Roberts, Unfiltered. Let's keep building. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.